After a wild Metal pay-per-view which saw Bryan Danielson betray Metal Wrestling president Stone Cold Steve Austin, NLW revelled in Undisputed Era's lethal lockdown victory by holding an action-packed live event in Poughkeepsie, New York. Tonight, we'll not only present the highlights of this event, but we'll also show you in full the shocking conclusion to the night's main event of Keith Lee versus The Undertaker. You will not want to miss it. But first, let's show you what transpired at the start of the evening. NLW EVP Triple H and the NLW Commissioner Shawn Michaels came out to address the crowd following the news that at WrestleMania 5, the main event will be a 5-on-5 elimination match, NLW versus Metal, with the winner holding control of both companies, whether that be Triple H of NLW or Stone Cold of Metal Wrestling. Triple H, however, stated to the crowd in attendance that if he were to win, he would end Metal Wrestling for good, and said that on the next episode of NLW in 2 weeks' time, he would announce his team for WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels, on the other hand, had a major announcement. He said that Kenny Omega would be allowed to return to NLW after his suspension and that he will be in attendance for the next episode. One can only imagine what HBK will do after Kenny Omega attacked him several months ago. On to the first match of the evening, which saw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey in a rematch from NLW 103 taking on Ty Conti. Ty surprised the champion early with a boot to the face, however the momentum was short-lived after Rousey decked Ty and locked in the armbar for the submission victory. One must wonder who can stop Rousey's reign after seemingly running through all of her challengers. Money in the Bank qualifying action next, as Shingo Takagi of Los Ingobernables took on freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. As you can imagine, Cassidy didn't sweat the dragon early on. His calm demeanour threw Shingo off his game. The tide turned when Takagi laid in the pumping bomber with enough might to knock down a brick wall. This secured Shingo's spot in Money in the Bank alongside Will Ospreay. However, the spotlight wasn't on Shingo, rather teammate Tetsuya Naito, who has not been on the best terms with Los Ingobernables to say the least. Still, Takagi advances to WrestleMania. Speaking of which, on NLW we will see AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio face off in the Money in the Bank qualifier, but on the agenda tonight was tag team action as AJ Styles' stablemates, the Good Brothers, faced off against the Mysterios. Gallows and Anderson attempted to weaken Rey before the match, but Rey was not going down without a fight. Dominic fought valiantly alongside his father to help the Mysterios back into the contest. A swift 619 right on the money, and it was all over. One wonders now who will come out on top in the Money in the Bank qualifier, Rey Mysterio or AJ Styles. Women's division action up next as Becky Lynch returned to the ring for the first time in over a year to battle Kairi of the Kabuki Triad. There was no shortage of physicality in this one. The forearms thrown were enough to make anyone wince. Kairi stretched the former champion near the point of submission, but a crafty counter led to the disarmer, forcing to tap out on Kairi. Afterwards, however, the Kabuki Triad stormed the ring to beat down Becky. They wanted to put the man on the shelf for the third time, and with Paul Ellering calling the shots, who is safe from the Kabuki Triad. Another Money in the Bank qualifier up next, as Andrade El Idolo of Los Ingobernables battled Jungle Boy of the Jurassic Express. The pace was fast from the get-go, as Andrade took the majority of control. Jungle Boy, however, has the heart of a champion and managed to fight back with a beautifully executed DDT. The panic set in for LIJ, so Selena Vega instructed Tetsuya Naito to interfere. Unfortunately for them, this backfired, resulting in Naito throwing a chair right into the face of Andrade. This led to Jungle Boy locking in the snare trap, forcing Andrade to tap. Now we know that Jungle Boy, Shingo Takagi and Will Ospreay will be 3 of the 8 competitors in Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. The tension between Tetsuya Naito and Los Ingobernables, however, continues to drive a wedge in the group. X Division action now as Time Splitter Kushida wrestled Jushin Thunder Liger, who has seemingly switched his attitude and become more violent and more destructive. Liger took control early by using dirty tactics, unlike what you would expect from a legend of the sport. Kushida fought back with a shot to the jaw that nearly knocked out one of the horns on Liger's mask. Liger, however, behind the referee's back tried to cheat, but Kushida had it scouted and rolled up Liger for the win. Liger was incensed, but it's what he deserved after the way he's acted in recent weeks. Before we get to the main event, a special guest was in attendance for tonight's NLW show. Former NFL tight end and 4-time Super Bowl champion Rob the Gronk Gronkowski. Safe to say, however, the former New England Patriots man wasn't exactly welcomed by the fans in New York. Gronk ran down New York and everyone in attendance, probably making people regret inviting him in the first place. Unfortunately for the Gronk, the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer, was sick of the trash talk and dropped him with the blackout. There was a more important reason for Archer's attendance, however, because he was here to witness the main event between The Undertaker and Keith Lee. After all, Lance Archer will face Keith Lee for the Atlas title on NLW 105 in 2 weeks from Cleveland. Right now though, we're going to show you the exciting conclusion to this live event in full. Here are the closing moments of this colossal showdown between Keith Lee and The Undertaker. Remy Montoya, the person responsible for our main event tonight, thank you as we see The Undertaker boot the Atlas champion right in the face. And now The Undertaker throttling Keith Lee. But look at the athleticism of Keith Lee, landing on his feet out of the chokeslam, and now Big Bang catastrophe coming. No! The Undertaker taking care of business. And maybe trying to send a message to the ministry that, oh, wait a minute though. Tombstone! No! DDT from Keith Lee. Keith Lee scheduled to go one-on-one with Lance Archer on the next episode, but right now the moonsault misses. And now last ride, but turned into a Hurricane Rana. Poughkeepsie here tonight being treated to a classic between Keith Lee and The Undertaker. Look out for the tope. Keith Lee flying over the top and crashing onto The Undertaker. Oh, wait a minute, look at Jake the Snake Roberts. No, he's in attendance tonight. Of course, he is the man who is guiding Seth Rollins at the moment over on Metal, and Keith Lee actually challenged Seth Rollins, so maybe Jake the Snake trying to scout out Keith Lee or maybe psych him out. And you see now The Undertaker with the Hell's Gate. Keith Lee distracted by Jake Roberts, but look out! Spirit Bomb! Well, Keith Lee, he can't focus on Seth Rollins and his condition. He can't focus on Lance Archer. He must focus on The Undertaker here tonight. But The Undertaker comes back at him with a clothesline. And The Undertaker now going to go after Keith Lee and... Wait a minute. What the hell's this? It's the entire ensemble of the Firefly Funhouse. And now Keith Lee with the pounce.
6, 7, 8,
and Keith Lee going to get back in the ring.
9.
And the referee counts out The Undertaker. The Undertaker has been counted out, and the Atlas champion Keith Lee picks up a shock victory. But man oh man, The Undertaker furious that the Fiend Bray Wyatt is still getting into his head. Another spokesperson for the Ministry's higher power, Evil Uno, chastising The Undertaker. Remember, Uno said if Undertaker doesn't win against the Fiend at Mania, he's out of the Ministry. Oh my God! Well, maybe The Undertaker wants to be out of the Ministry already. He just decked Evil Uno. And you know that the higher power will not be happy with that.